Hey y'all, grown black folks talk story time. How to prevent a crime in progress without even trying. Sometimes you just end up being at the right place at the right time. And I feel that it's necessary to tell the story because people do not understand the strangeness of life between black men and black women. Even when you're not trying to be bothered, just the different way that we are processing the world can create major trouble. I was at my local grocery store today. I was minding my own self business. They had some really good music, so I had just come from doing my walk. It was a good day. When I left, it was foggy. We're kind of in a summery pattern here, which is pretty heavy fog, and then afternoons that are clear, and then the fog comes right back in, which is, well, basically it looks like a whole railroad train driving by out there right now, so it's back in more or less. So I was coming from the store, enjoying the music in the store, just enjoying my life. You know, as I came into the store, I couldn't help but notice him. Big, tall, handsome black man. Probably about my age, 40 to 50. He looked me over. I'm not his type. We all know what the conversations are about that. Too old, too fat. Got it. Not a problem, because I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying the vibe. So I'm just doing what I'm doing, going through the store, bopping around, having myself a good time. Not many people there because of the time of day. But when I came in, he was at the butcher counter. And he was very confidently making some orders, asking for things, and so forth. By the time I came around, he was going to the checkout, but I was looking for some particular kind of sauce while I was there. And as I was sitting there, he looked at the package and was like, "What the?" See, the thing that he ordered, they make it by the quarter pound. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're very confident in the order, but you're not paying by the pound, you're paying by the quarter pound. So he has two choices. He can go, but the thing about it is, if they pack it out for you by the quarter pound, they're not taking it back. Once it's out of the container, they can't put it back. So you're kind of stuck if you make a mistake like that. But this started the pattern. It's his mistake. Now, literally, he could go home and eat it. Literally, that's what he could do. Or he can go and make a stink. Well, he gets back to the counter, and the person behind the counter does not budge. Her compatriots are there, and her job will be on the line because that would be cross contamination. Can't do that. So I'm bopping to the store, but I just happen to see that because I'm standing where I can see it. So I'm again doing my shopping, doing my business. It surprises me. One last really good round of peaches and plums. It's October. You wouldn't figure, but I had the greatest peach today, and I had one of the finest plums. Anyway, I picked up some of these itty bitty red plums today that were just delightful. And as I finally got back in line, he had gotten there in front of me. And I remember he said to the checker, he left that on the end. He said to the checker, "No, y'all gonna have to take that back. I'm not gonna pay for that. Because not what I wanted." And so she doesn't bother it. She leaves it there. He leaves it at the end. And he picks it up again, gets the items that he paid for, and is just about to put it in the bag, and then looks up. And guess who's standing there? Me. And because I was looking right at him, he didn't steal that. At least not in front of me. Now he accelerated to the rear. Now he might have gone on a little while later and gone on and put that in his bag and walked out of there. But see, here's how that started. He made a mistake. He wasn't willing to eat the mistake. Other people did not feel obligated to correct his mistake. And so to make himself feel better, he then wanted to go to doing a crime to get back at the store. And the only person standing there who just happened to be standing there, and the reason why he didn't do it because there was a witness. Me. And I thought to myself, okay, I see how that happened. You went out, you were walking securely in your ego. You made a big mistake. You didn't want to just be okay with the mistake and just eat that and not do that again. You wanted to go make a big show, and then when the show didn't work, then you wanted to steal in order to comfort yourself for your mess up. So you messed up once, then you went to trying to willfully mess up, but there was a witness. When I tell you I knew how that was going to roll out and that I knew he was going to try to steal it at the minute he put it at the edge of the counter, because I understand how this works. I've taught younger black people for 25 years. And just because a man is 6'2" and at a big age of between 40 and 45 does not mean that if he has not learned how to take responsibility for himself, that he will not compound a mess with a crime. Because you can watch little children do this all day long. And if I see it, so are all the other people who are building prisons for black men in this country. And so when you realize this, you realize the setup. If there are cameras in that establishment, of course, I do not know because I've never had to bother to look, but most grocery stores do have mirrors and cameras. Stealing food from a store is what you call a petty crime. But see, the thing about that is that was so casual for him. That tells you that he'd be capable of doing some other things. I'm glad it was a public place and that he actually stopped. Because if he had gone on and put that in that bag, that puts me in an incredibly bad position. And then, we're out here in the same neighborhood. So that puts me in a very dangerous position. I mentioned that he was a big 6'2" man, right? It is a burden to be a highly responsible person. It would be easier for me if I wasn't attuned to what people are doing, if I wasn't attuned. But see, this is why 9 figures worth of community responsibility sits comfortably. Well, it's not comfortable for me, but it fits on this shoulder. Why? Because after a lifetime, 25 years in total, of having some responsibility for the lives of other human beings, you begin to know patterns, good and bad. It makes life difficult because sometimes my mere presence can be a rebuke to something. And sometimes because people cross lines they have no business crossing in front of me, I have to say something because that's what's required when you become a person whose shoulders have to carry community responsibility. So I saw it today, y'all. I saw how the brothers are getting set up. They are going out into a world in which they have been denied information. They're going out and making mistakes and not wanting to own up to the mistakes, and then making further mistakes and even going then to be provoked into crime to try to do a get back. A black man will pick the wrong woman, and then it's everybody's responsibility to try to fix it or to be blamed for when things inevitably go to pieces. And the only thing you can do is recognize the pattern and walk on. That's it. That's it. I didn't go chase this man down because, like I said, I didn't see a crime in progress. The fact that I was looking stopped it. Now, what he did when he got past me and I checked out, I will never know. Would I trust this man as far as I could throw him? No. If, another dress size down or so, this man became interested, for real, because he was looking at me too, because there's no reason for him to have paid attention to whether or not I was watching him. But I was enjoying the vibe. And as little as men want to admit it, some of them are attracted to big women too. They just don't want us around their friends, in a social media environment. So he was keeping an eye on me too, because otherwise he would not have noticed that I had noticed what he was doing. But if I were a dress size and a half down a year from now, maybe two, and this gentleman were to come on to me, I'm like, aren't you the same man? I wouldn't say this, but I'd be thinking to myself, aren't you the same man? No, thank you. No, thank you. I find a way to quietly say thank you. Because I also know about this man that he's a man who will do a crime if he feels disrespected. And I've mentioned before on this channel that in this neighborhood, as I'm out enjoying the abundance of life, enjoying nature, enjoying self-improvement, the interactions with other races of men are generally nicer, but the interactions with black men are increasingly toxic. This is another example. And it's heartbreaking because I love my father. I loved my grandfather. I love my uncles. It's heartbreaking, but it is reality because I see the setup. And you need to know there's a population of what are probably good men who have good jobs and all the rest of it that because of disrespect will then get themselves into a position where they can get locked up sinning against some institution over not being able to get their way. You would never have seen that unless you saw it. I literally, because I walked in and was just walking around the store in the time that I was walking in, that's what happened. Now, there's a whole nother video to do about getting involved with compromised men, and this goes for any race. The three examples that I would like to use for that video, their compromises with evil and with the evil in each other made up the trick bag that succeeded chattel slavery. Because if any one of these three men had taken their opportunity to not do the wrong thing for their personal advantage 30 years early, well, 20 to 30 years earlier, the Confederate flag would never have been around to stand at the Capitol on January 6th. But that's a different video. I got to do a little bit more research and figure out how I'm going to present it to you. But I want to just put this information out there because we always end up with this tone with, uh, you know, black men are always talking about the good black man. If he has this pattern of, I can't have my way, so I'm going to level it by crossing that line, nope, no. Because all you're going to end up being is a witness to or the next victim of. Be warned and be wise. If you see these kind of patterns, apparent good man, but just compromised, you just see lines being crossed, nope, no, no. Get on out. Anyway, that's what I saw going to the store today. That's your story time for what's going on out here in these streets. Um, I really do wish that I would have more meetings where I could tell y'all good stories, but I can't make up stuff that doesn't exist. Anyway, y'all have a good day now. Be careful out there.